Hey Sagittarius, what's going on everybody? It's Sam from CancerMoonsTarot, and I'm coming at you guys with your mid-April 2022 tarot reading. How are you guys? I hope you guys are well. Without further ado, let's jump on into it and see what we got going on. Starting out here with the current energies for Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus throughout mid-April 2022. What current energies do we got coming in here for Sag? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus throughout mid-April 2022. First card out, what do we have? And we have here the Lovers. Okay, you could be connecting with a Gemini for a few of you. Looking at the next card, we do have here the Four of Cups. And then lastly for you, Sagittarius, we have here the Two of Pentacles. So, looking at your current energies for mid-April so far, we have here the Lovers, the Four of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. You could be connecting with a Gemini potentially, considering that the, Lover's card is here. So you could be dealing with a Gemini, or you may have Gemini somewhere in your chart. Now, with the Lover's card here to the Four of Cups, this is typically an indication that you're taking some time away from somebody. Now, the Lovers doesn't have to be a direct romanticized connection. It could be a romantic person in your life, but it can also represent a strong connection that you have to a friend, a family member, your work, your job place, or anybody at all. So it doesn't just have to be something that's purely romantic, okay? So we do have a pretty strong connection here with the Lovers. This is somebody that you're heavily connected to, but you're currently ignoring them here, Sagittarius. Taking a look at the last card that we have for your current energy is going to be the Two of Pentacles. So you're trying to figure out whether or not it's worth trying to keep some sort of relationship in your life going. You're not really sure right now on whether or not you want this relationship to remain a relationship in your life, or if you want to go your separate ways. So it does look to me like coming up into mid-April, you're kind of coming to a place of deciding whether or not a relationship will remain, or whether it's time to discontinue. All right, let's go ahead and have a look here and see what you're dealing with throughout the second half of April. Excuse me, by the way, guys, I'm very, very clogged up today in reference to like my allergies. So if I'm very stuffy, or if I need to like take a minute to, kind of just like breathe, bear with me, guys. Unfortunately, allergies are getting super hectic. I got a dehumidifier running in the background. So just bear with me, guys. I'd appreciate it. It's not the easiest thing to like seamlessly communicate. So just hang on in there, all right? All right, guys, so let's see what Sagittarius is dealing with here throughout the second half of April. Sagittarian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-April 2022. What are they dealing with? What do we have? We have here the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles in this instance is referencing all the time that you've spent in regards to this connection. All the time you've put into this connection, all of the money potentially for a few of you. This is just symbolizing your investment, right? I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this connection that, you're talking about. So I think that's what you're thinking about. Based upon what you're dealing with, you're thinking about all the time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears you've put into a connection that you have with somebody. That's what's on your mind right now. Moving on to the next card, we do have here the Knight of Swords. And then moving on to the last two cards, we have here the Ten of Pentacles followed up with the Ten of Wands. So immediately when these two cards came out, what I heard here for you, Sagittarius, is like, I've had some of the most wonderful moments with this person, but also some of the most tragic. So it's a burden within itself, but there's also a lot of beauty in it too. So that's why it's kind of so difficult for you to make a clear and concise decision on whether or not to keep a relationship going or to completely cut a person off, because there's been a lot of good times, but there's also been a lot of bad times, and it's really hard to distinguish which one outweighs each other. Does the bad outweigh the good, or does the good outweigh the bad? So when you see the Seven of Pentacles here to the Knight of Swords, essentially what this is saying is that you're trying to take action in the second half of the month to figure out what you should do, but you're thinking about how much you've invested into this relationship. And you've invested quite a lot here, Sagittarius. You've put a lot into this person. You've put a lot into getting over hurdles with this individual. But is it really going to come down to, at the end of the day, is it worth it or not? That's what I think it kind of comes down to here for you, because you're in this place where you've had a lot of bad times. You're also in this place where you've had a lot of good times. What outweighs the other? Is the bad better than the good? Is there more good than bad, or is there more bad than good? That is what you're trying to figure out here, and I think that that's why it's been so difficult for you to come to a conclusion. All right? Let's go ahead and see where things are going here for you. Where are things going to be going here for Sagittarius? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-April 2022. Where are things going to be going here for Sag? First card out, we do have here the Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles, usually the problem-solving card, wanting to try to fix this, wanting to try to work on the connection, moving on to the next card, Four of Pentacles, it's really hard to let them go. So you're not in a position to where you want to let this person go. It's really difficult for you to do that. You want to try to work it as much as you can, Ace of Pentacles, and then we have here the Fool card. So the Ace of Pentacles is like, kind of giving it one last opportunity, I feel. So I think you're going to give this connection one last opportunity. You're going to give it one last chance before you decide to bounce. You have here the Fool card. That's packing up all your stuff and leaving and walking away entirely. So you're trying to give this individual one more chance to really see if you can work out this relationship. And if it just simply isn't working, then you're going to have to walk away no matter how difficult it truly is. Before we move any further into the rest of this read, I kind of want to get a feel here for what's going on between you and this person, so let's go ahead and check that out. What's going on here between Sagittarius and the person they're dealing with, please, throughout mid-April 2022? All right, give me some information about what's going on in reference to the relationship between Sag and whomever it is they're dealing with. And we have here the Hermit, we have here the King of Swords, we have here the Star, and we have here the Page of Cups. Immediately when I saw the Hermit card, what popped into my head was, we barely even talk. So you feel like you feel like communication has been pretty non-existent for quite some time. Between you and this person, it's been hard to communicate. You feel like you barely ever even talk. And you could still be talking, nearly every day. But what you mean by this is, you mean you barely ever talk about what's going on. It almost seems to me like the problems that are happening within the relationship are pretty much consistently being avoided. So that's something that I'm feeling here as well. You may make small talk, you may have conversations, but none of them are inherently about what's wrong. Okay? So that's what you mean by we barely ever talk. It's we don't get to the root of the problem. We don't talk about how we're feeling. We just talk bullshit. And I think that that's something you're really tired of, because you also got here the King of Swords. The Hermit card to the King of Swords. You mean business here, Sagittarius. King of Swords is that energy of really wanting to get things done. King of Swords is a person who is determined. So you're in the energy of determination to try to get down to the root of the problem that's happening within your relationship, but the person that you're dealing with seems to be pretty avoidant of that. So you're dealing with a person who's avoidant. Meanwhile, you're more confrontational. So that's kind of the difference between the two of you. You're confrontational, you're willing to talk about what's going on, you're willing to talk about your feelings. Person you're dealing with, they're incredibly avoidant. Looking at the next two cards that we do have here the Star card, and we also have here the Page of Cups. It's you keep trying, you're trying to put a lot of hope and faith into the fact that, there's a lot of good times we've had in this relationship. Maybe we can really work this out. So you're trying to put as much hope and faith as you can into things getting better. But ultimately, it's really going to come down to whether or not the person you're dealing with is trying to work this relationship with you, okay? Takes two to tango, right? If you're the only one dancing, there is not going to be any tango going on. Let's see. Is the person that Sagittarius is dealing with over here, are they going to be willing to work this out? And let's have a look. We have here 10 of Swords, and we have here 9 of Pentacles. It feels like you're the only one. Yeah, 9 of Pentacles, right? That's the energy of independence. So Sagittarius, it's you're the independent person here. You're the one who's trying to work on this. They're not. So with the 10 of Swords over here, it's they'll watch this relationship end without actually confronting the problems. I think in this person's mind, if they were to continue avoiding the consistent problems and just keeping the relationship the way it is, they'd be in a state of contentment. I don't know why that's what would make them content, but they would be just fine. Whereas for you, Sagittarius, that's not how you like to get things done. Sagittarians are very open, honest, and blunt. You guys like to talk about stuff. You guys like to get to the root of the problem, figure shit out, and hash it out right then and there. With the individual that you're dealing with, they seem very avoidant of anything that triggers an emotional response, and they seem very avoidant in general of anything that has to deal with an emotional situation. So it feels to me like the way it's looking, the more you keep trying, the less and less this person's going to try back. The more you keep trying, the more they're going to keep avoiding. So until they decide to stand up and do something, the relationship's kind of going to remain where it's at. And I think that that's why you're reaching your breaking point here moving into mid-April. It's what else can I do? I can give them one last and final opportunity, Ace of Pentacles, but it looks to me like they're probably still going to deny that opportunity. 10 of Swords. And with the Fool card over here, you're going to have to say, all right, I did everything that I could, but it's time for me to go. Okay? Let's go ahead and see what the spirit guides have to say. Are there any dire or important messages coming in here from Sagittarius' spirit guides throughout mid-April 2022? First card out, we have the Empress. Next card out, we have the Six of Wands. And then lastly, we have here the Eight of Pentacles. I think your guides are trying to say, Sagittarius, like, you've tried to do everything that you can, but you cannot change somebody else, right? The only person you can change ideally is yourself. And if the person you're dealing with is going to be so set in their ways to where they continue to be avoidant, you're not going to be the person to change them. Only they will change if they wish. So your guides are trying to say to you here, with the Empress to the Six of Wands, you're better off growing from this situation and moving forward than continuing to try. I think your guides are trying to tell you, like, you know, the ball's in their court here. If they're not going to shoot, you know, there's nothing you can do. So with that Eight of Pentacles, all the work and energy that you're putting into trying to fix this relationship is not really working out because it's not equally being put in with the person you're dealing with, okay? So coming into mid-April right now, I think your spirit guides are trying to say to you guys, you've done everything you can, but maybe it is time to walk away. And who knows, because sometimes taking action to walk away from people in our lives actually triggers a pretty big response. You know, typically when we walk away from people, that finally gives them the room to understand what it is they're exactly missing. You know, I think that's important to note too, Sagittarius, because when you do walk away, your absence may start to get this person to realize that they messed up. It may make them realize, you know, I really lost Sagittarius. Maybe they don't think in their heads right now that they're in jeopardy of losing you until it really happens. So when you do walk away from whomever this person is, that might actually make them realize how they've been so avoidant, and it's been detrimental, and it's been hurting the relationship. And guess what? They've avoided until they eventually and inevitably lost out on you. And that's the thing here, Sag. Like, for you guys with the Two of Pentacles in the beginning of the tarot video, it's like you knew that you were getting closer and closer to the outcome of you walking away. You know, Two of Pentacles was you not wanting to. You were trying to find a way to continue to keep this relationship intact, but you knew that the end goal here would be you having to walk away if the person you're dealing with wasn't willing to change, and they just don't seem willing to change. I think they're way too stuck in their ways. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall outcome here for Sagittarius. What's going to be the overall outcome here for Team Saggy? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-April 2022. What's going to be the overall outcome here for Sagittarius? And what do we have? We have here the Hangman. Now, typically the Hangman is the card of feeling stuck, but I don't think that's what it is in your case, because the Hangman can also mean something else. The Hangman could be the card of enlightenment, okay? I think that the enlightenment you're achieving here is that I can't be the only one working on this. I can't keep on trying to save something if somebody else isn't willing to put in the same amount of effort. I think that there's been a lot of great times you've had in this relationship with the person you're dealing with, but there's also been a lot of hardships here. Remember, 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. There is a lot of great things about this relationship. There's also a lot of bad things, a lot of rough things. And you were constantly wondering, like, is the bad outweighing the good, or is the good outweighing the bad? But ultimately, there's no chance to even determine that answer if the person you're dealing with is going to continue to avoid what's happening. You can't say the good outweighs the bad, or the bad outweighs the good if the relationship isn't continuing. You're not going to be able to find out. You know, your person here keeps ignoring the problem. So I think that with the Hangman showing up for the outcome for you, it's a card of enlightenment. You know, I think you're becoming enlightened to the fact that it takes two to tango. I think you're becoming enlightened to the fact that you can't work on something alone, especially if there's a situation that requires equal give and take and you're the only one giving. All right? All right, Sagittarius, that's what I have here for you. I'm sorry. I wish it was a better message for you guys. Unfortunately, I can't control what comes out. I do want to apologize again as well. I know my allergies have been pretty killer lately. I know that's out of my control, but I wish that it wouldn't be so dang annoying when I work, because it's pretty hard sometimes to, like, effortlessly communicate because it's hard to breathe or it's hard to talk or whatever. My nose is stuffy. You know, it could be a pain in the butt. So sorry that my allergies might have gotten in the way of this being a bit more of a clearer reading, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If it does resonate to you, let me know down down in the comments below. If it's not your story, no worries there. Definitely feel free to check out future videos when they do come out on the channel, and also feel free to check out any other tarot readers that we have here on YouTube, okay? If you're new here, Sagittarius, definitely consider subscribing. And with that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your April here. I know it's going to be difficult here having to walk away, but you're going to put the ball in this person's court, and if they're not willing to take the shot, they're going to miss out on you. And as I mentioned too, sometimes the person needs to lose you first to really not only understand what it is that they've lost, but to understand why they've lost you. I think that once, you do walk away here, they'll realize how avoidant they've truly been and the impact that it caused. And maybe something will change, maybe it won't, but the best thing for you right now is to kind of accept the situation for how it is, and the situation is showing up that the person you're dealing with doesn't want to work this with you, and the best thing you can do for yourself is move on. And you know what? If this person realizes that they messed up and they're missing you, maybe they'll try to change. Maybe it won't be too late, maybe it will. But as of right now, we can only focus on the present. So, don't wait around, Sagittarius, hoping that by walking away it makes this person change. Don't get yourself caught up in that energy. Instead, just move completely forward as you can. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Kind of move forward without expecting anything. Because I would never want to be that person to give false hope. I don't want to say move on and then this person will be begging for you to come back, because I don't know if that will happen. But I know that the best thing you can do for you right now is to go your own separate ways from this individual and potentially find something better. Okay? So the future is always going to be unknown, no matter how many people read the future, including myself, because I don't read the future. I read your current path and your most likely outcome. All right, so the future is unknown here, but what you can best do for yourself now is go in your own direction, okay? All right, Sagittarian, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your April, and I will catch you all in the next video. Much love, Sagittarius, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.